God, this job is killing me. I really need to change my life. But first, I need to get home and get some rest.
Patrulla número 12, cambio fuera. Patrulla 23, responda por favor.
Central, patrulla 23.
What's up everyone, I'm Dan and thanks to Nostra Games for the review code. I'll be looking at the exit project Backstreets on the Nintendo Switch. Horror games are at their best when they immerse players in an eerie atmosphere and challenge them to unravel mysteries in unsettling ways. The exit project Backstreets attempts to do just that, plunging you into a seemingly ordinary yet unnervingly strange world. The premise is straightforward yet intriguing. You are trapped in an endless loop of eerie alleyways, tasked with uncovering subtle changes to escape. The game leans heavily into psychological horror, creating a sense of unease as you explore the environment and attempt to break free from its repetitive grip. Unfortunately, while the setup holds promise, the exit project Backstreets doesn't always deliver the polished experience players might hope for. The game's strongest asset is its atmosphere. From the moment you step into the Backstreets, you're greeted with unnerving sounds that immediately set the tone. The audio design, while not groundbreaking, is effective in keeping you on the edge. Gasps of breath, strange whispers and distant noises make the environment feel alive, and not in a comforting way. These elements create a creep-in sense of dread, ensuring that players are always looking over their shoulders. The inclusion of jump scares adds another layer of tension, though these are a mixed bag. Some are genuinely effective, catching you off guard when you least expect it. Others, however, feel cheap and predictable, undermining the carefully crafted suspense. Still, the combination of eerie audio and sudden shocks ensures that you'll never feel fully comfortable as you navigate the game. While the atmosphere shines, the gameplay is where the exit project Backstreets falters. The game doesn't do a great job of explaining its mechanics, leaving players to rely heavily on trial and error, and this can be frustrating, especially early on when you're still trying to figure out how things work. Each alleyway presents a puzzle or clue that must be noticed to progress, but the lack of guidance often leaves players aimlessly wandering. While some might argue that this adds to the mystery, it can also detract from the overall experience. There's a fine line between feeling challenged and feeling lost, and the exit project occasionally leans too far into the latter. That said, there is a certain satisfaction in finally cracking the code of a particularly tricky alleyway. The sense of accomplishment that comes with solving a puzzle after multiple failed attempts is one of the game's redeeming qualities, and while I considered leaving a hint here about how to approach these puzzles, it's better left as part of the experience, even if it means enduring some frustration along the way. Visually, the exit project Backstreets is serviceable but unremarkable, particularly on the Nintendo Switch. The visuals feel dated, and repetitive nature of the alleyway environments can make the game start to feel bland. While the monotony is somewhat intentional, reinforcing the endless loop you're trapped in, it doesn't do much to keep players visually engaged. However, as you progress, the game does introduce more variety into the environments behind each door. These differences help to break up the monotony and add a sense of discovery, even if the visuals never quite reach the level of polish seen in other horror titles. It's worth noting that the Switch version doesn't capture the same ominous feel as its counterparts on other consoles. The improved lighting and visuals on platforms like the PlayStation and PC make the alleyways feel more abandoned and foreboding, adding to the sense of dread. On the Switch, these elements are less pronounced, which might diminish the overall experience for some players. Voice acting is present in the game, but it does feel somewhat stilted. Instead of enhancing the atmosphere, it often detracts from it, breaking immersion at key moments. It's a shame, as strong voice work could have added another layer of tension and depth to the experience. Instead, the dialogue comes across as flat, failing to convey the urgency or fear that the game's premise demands. The exit project Backstreets is a game that shows flashes of brilliance, but ultimately struggles to fully deliver on its potential. Its atmospheric audio design and chilling premise make it a worthwhile experience for fans of psychological horror, but the lack of guidance, dated visuals and inconsistent execution may leave some players feeling underwhelmed. If you're the type of player who enjoys piecing together puzzles and doesn't mind a bit of frustration along the way, there's a good chance you'll find something to appreciate here. However, for those looking for a more polished and accessible horror experience, the exit project Backstreets may not be the right fit. As it stands, it's a decent but flawed journey into the eerie and unsettling. The exit project Backstreets is out now on the Nintendo eShop, priced at $8.99 in the UK and $9.99 in the US. Big thanks to you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the review, and until next time.
Independencia fuera.